My mic is muted. Hey guys, hey gals, 40 Grid here. Didn't expect many people jumping in tonight because of the football. I guess it's a double header. I wasn't really following that, but I appreciate the people that have jumped in so far. Just wanted to go over. I probably won't be on too long. I got to work tomorrow, so but just wanted to go over a couple things from the week which I found interesting. Wanted to throw out there that it's very interesting. I'm not sure if I hit the mark that I wanted to hit today when I was talking on the Kramer show on the Kramer uh, show I did today on the Paul Dean. Uh, what I was trying to get across is when you guys make comments, it's really awesome because I enjoy the back and forth as far as like uh, talking about fixing it and what should I do on this. I had a guy this week. Uh, uh, was a Metal Cop 5150. Metal Cop 5150 hit me up this week and said, "So I'm." You can go read the comment. He said, "So this is what I took from the video." And the first thing he said was, "Is it an aftermarket nut?" And I remember when I pulled that nut off in the video, I pulled that shim out. I was more caught up with the shim than I was with the nut. So interestingly enough, I had read that comment and I had texted my better half and said, "Could you do me a favor and go out there and look at that nut? That's because she knows what a nut is, which is awesome. Could you go out there and take a look at that nut and tell me what size nut that is on the back on that chrome nut that's that Floyd nut?" And she said R2, which was interesting because that explains the shim and the side to side. I didn't notice. I'm surprised I didn't notice that. And then I really started thinking about it. I really started nuking it because that's what Warren's done to his old Charvels. Those were R5 nuts, from what I understand. He had R5s on those guitars, and now he has R2s. And all the performance guitars are R2s. So I thought that that was very interesting. So I just wanted to throw out there to you guys that I really enjoyed the back and forth as far as like, and if you guys see me do anything stupid or if I don't comment on something, just say, "Hey man, that didn't look right," or "Hey man, why did you do that?" or whatever, because I'm always totally open to people correcting me, or if there's reason to be corrected. I mean, I'm no expert. I just know how to work on guitars a little bit. So, anyways, Metal Cop 5150, man. Thanks for that. And then we talked about the logos a little bit. The um, how Seymour Duncan puts the logos on the pickups. Those are stamped for sure. Because I've taken some logos off Mother's wheel cleaning paste. Chrome polish, Mother's chrome polish works really good as far as getting off those Seymour Duncan logos. You got to tape it off, tape around the screw, and box it off. And then some Mother's chrome polish works really good on that, taking those logos off. So, anyways, Metal Cop 5150, great job, man. Thank you so much for that. And if he wouldn't have mentioned that, I would still be in the dark on that nut because I haven't touched that guitar. It's still too hot. It's supposed to cool down on Wednesday. It's supposed to be high of 87 on Wednesday. So my intention is to do a level on that DeMartini neck, and then I'm going to crown those frets, and then we should be back in business with that guitar. So, anyways, let's say hello to everybody. There's my buddy Darren. Darren, what's up, man? That's my DeMartini buddy. Greasy Monkey Guitars. Hey, thanks for being here, bro. Howdy, great Kramer video today. Looking forward to the Bomber Part 2. I'm looking forward to the Bomber Part 2 because I'm looking forward to getting that guitar going. We talked last week. I'm slipping down in this chair. We talked last week about that guitar, and I had a custom shop, and I regretted selling it. And as soon as I saw that one with chrome hardware, I was like, let's go. I'm buying it, and I'm going to right the wrong. So I righted the wrong. Ryan is in the chat. Hey, Ryan, OU812's channel. Check out OU812. Him and the gang over there. It's a great watch. I love sitting there watching those guys just noodle, and it's awesome. And Ryan's got some badass guitars. I wish I could bring myself to buying one of those Steinbergers. I just I would love to have one. I just can't wrap my head around it. I would love to have. I want that striped one that you have. So if you ever sell it, just let me know, buddy. Ronnie Parker, always faithful in the chat. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for being here, man. Great stream night, Ryan. Yeah, absolutely. I was lurking as well, and then I switched over to football, and then we switched over to dinner, and now here I am. Mr. Mick is here. 40. What's up? How's it going, Mr. Mick? Thanks for being here, pal. Mikey, always faithful. There's my buddy. How you doing? There's my boy there. My moderator is in the house. Greasy Monkey saying hi to everybody. Still live. I'll send everyone here after. Hey, bro, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate that. What's that called? There's a word for that now, like there's a word for something like that. And I uh I wasn't trying to step on you guys at all. I'm just off today, and I'm back to work for the next 4. So I might go live Tuesday, maybe not, because we're gonna be shooting that Randy Rhodes. Uh, um, we're gonna be shooting that Randy Rhodes video. Uh, that's a work in progress. It's not easy to dial that. That's a work in progress, but Mr. Mick saying hello. Patty Dill is in my chat. Hey, Patty Dill, how you doing? Very nice to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Looks like Ryan's. Looks like everybody's saying hello to each other. Oh, it's called a raid. That's what it's called. Everyone and 40. Blue Mox. What's up, man? Thanks for coming here. It's called a raid. That's what that's called. Robbie Stingle's in the chat. What's up, Robbie? Hey, I got those parts today. Robbie hit me up on a Floyd Rose that I should have bought, and I purchased it. It's one of the. It's like an 83 or something. It's sitting right here, but I'm gonna go over that when we do the show together. We're gonna do a show together coming up. Um, but yeah, he sent me the other parts. I got him today, so I got I got the parts. So that's good. Mikey's here, Blue Mox. And my boy saying hello to Robbie. Oh, really? Gorgamite. Gorgamite cloth works great for getting those Duncan logos off. Noted. I got some of that. I got some of that from FU Tone, and it's just sitting out there in a bag. So I will check into that. That's cool. There he is. What's up, Darren? How's it going, buddy? Hope you enjoyed the DeMartini stuff. Whenever I'm working on the DeMartini guitars, you're the first person that pops in my head. Let's see what Darren thinks about what I'm doing tonight. Everybody's saying hello to everybody. Let's see here. Patty's still in the chat. Let's see what this says. When you have a spare 10,000 laying around, burning a hole in your pocket. Wink. Yeah. Right. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. He's referring to the Steinberger, and that's where I'm having I can't I don't know if I could if I was going to spend 10 grand right now on something, I'd probably be chasing a pink Eddie Van Halen Ernie Ball, but I'm not going to be chasing any of that stuff. So I think I'm good for guitars for a while. I'm trying not to buy guitars, but every time I say I'm not going to buy guitars, guess what happens? All these cool guitars pop up. And I was talking to the guys at work the other day, and I said, "Hey, I got 2 coming," because I usually have them sent to work because I'm usually at work, and so they just get delivered to the parts department, and then I go back there and grab them, and then the guys in the parts department go, "What'd you get this time?" So I'm buying too much stuff when the parts guys are back there giving me crap about it. Um, so I'm trying to stay away from it, but I got people like Robbie and my buddy Lou and my buddy Jeff and all my buddies going, "Hey man, look what just popped up," and I'm sitting there going, "Oh my god, I think I got to go after that one." So I'm not even shopping anymore for guitars. I just keep having people send me cool stuff. Nakala Music, sir, I've not seen you in here before, and if you have, I don't remember your name, but I appreciate you being here. Thanks for being here. And Greasy Guitars says raid. That's pretty cool. Appreciate that. 27 people in the chat. That's cool. Here's my buddy Lou. Lou is the guy that played on my Paul Dean video today. Lou and I go back to I think I was a junior in high school, and he was a sophomore. He was a year behind me, but him and I have been best friends for years and years and years. So Lou came over today and we dialed in his Les Paul. He had a dead fret on the 12th fret, so I fixed that. And then we came in and we started doing a little bit of testing and see what our game plan was. Interestingly enough, that Randy Rhoads video, I pulled the JVM down because I thought the JVM, I was going to use like a JVM 800. I was going to use the 800 setting in that. We pulled the 800 down and it wasn't cutting it. It just was not cutting it. So I went to the Soldano. So we're going to use the Soldano Hot Rod 50 with the Randy Rhoads Distortion Plus, and I tried the equalizer. We're not done yet, but we shot some videos and then bounced them inside on the TV to see how the sound was, and I think we're close enough to where you can see a distinctive difference with the Distortion Plus pedal on and the Distortion Plus pedal off. So there's some mojo in that pedal. It's a cool pedal. But Lou, thanks for playing today, and I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy seeing you pull off your tribute Randy Rhoads solo on Tuesday because I just sit there and watch the guy play. He's just fantastic. So get caught up with it. Patty's in the chat. Let's see here. Who's this? Wayne Bacano. Hello, sir. How are you? Nice. Thanks for being here. JP21's in the chat. Always faithful. What's up, Jarrell? How's it going? Tell Allie I said hi. Tell the kids I said hi. Patty saying hi. Robbie Stingle saying hello. Mr. Mick, I have an EVH stripe guitar and the pickup is too close to the strings and it's screwed all the way into the body. I want the bridge on the body. So do I have to buy bridge and neck shims to raise it? Neck shim is the way is the move. You have to change the angle on the neck to bring the bridge up. So whether you do it by sanding it, I did a video on that, or you can sand angle into the pocket, or you can just stick some mesh sandpaper in there and build that angle up. But that's the only way you're going to fix that is if you put angle on the neck, and that's going to put angle on the neck, which brings the bridge up. So if you bring the bridge back, it brings the bridge up. If you sand the pocket flusher, it's going to bring the bridge down. This is your neck and this is your bridge. If you put angle on the pocket, the bridge is going to go up. So I was taught that by a Fender master builder over at John Sir one day. We were talking about it. I had a Charvel. Those Charvels are notorious for sitting off the bridge freaking 3/4 of an inch. And I took it in one day. I said, "Hey, could you assist me? Because I wanted to, it was too much to sand and I wanted to put it on a pin router. And I just wasn't allowed to go back there and just jump on a pin router. So I took the body in one day and me and Mike took a look at it and he goes, yeah, let's just sand some, or let's just route an angle on it. We stick a quarter under it, stick a quarter under the body that gives it just a little bit of bounce, and then route out the pocket on the pin router, and that'll give you your angle. So that's what you're going to have to do, Mr. Mick. You're going to have to put some angle on that neck, and then that will clean up that'll raise that bridge. You're probably not going to have to raise it too much. I mean, on those EVHs, what I've noticed is they're set at 5/64ths. 5/64ths on bass and treble side. With the last fret fretted, what I've experienced is 5/64ths is the mojo for the EVH. Once I get it dialed in and everything, 5/64ths on bass and treble. So I usually do 4/64ths on treble, but you can't really move those. Excuse me, you can't really move those pickups because they're flush mounted. So you're kind of stuck. So that's what's going to happen there. There's Allie. Hello. Good evening, ma'am. How are you? Uh, Darren, tell me about the strings on the Kramer. You dropped E and G to smaller. So the Kramer. Oh, there they are. The Kramer 5150s of old school. Now these came out when I was in high school. So if you look at the strings, it was 9, 11, 15, 24, 32, and 40. So the G and the low E, you drop to 40 and you drop the G to 15. That was the Edward Van Halen 5150 strings when they came out. So I got a whole bunch of these. I'll never use them. I just like looking at the packaging. Reminds me of being in high school. So that's why I did that. I like the G. I don't have to live with the low E. I can leave it at 42. It doesn't bug me too much. Sometimes in cases I will switch it to a 42 if I just feel like on that guitar. Just like I said today when I was setting up guitars, every guitar sets up differently. I didn't know how I did that at 3 o'clock in the morning. I went back and watched that video this morning, and because I did it in pieces today, and I was all jazzed when I did the intro, and then I go out to the workbench. I'm like, okay, so because it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I had my garage doors open. I don't live. I live closer to people. I live in a suburb, subdivision. So I didn't want to wake people up and upset people with me out there talking about guitar stuff to nobody except for a camera. So that's why there was a switch there uh, 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 in my voice when we went to the bench. I shot that at 3 o'clock in the morning, and every guitar sets up different. And I'll tell you what, that guitar set up. It's just crazy how easy that guitar set up. I mean, even the block. It took me like 2 seconds to get that block right. They just everything went right today with that guitar. Very happy with that guitar. There's a lot of history with that guitar. I didn't really go into it, but me and my buddy, Lou, we grew up together and he had that guitar and then he sold it to me in that picture when we're sitting on the couch, he sold it to me that night. And I came back to California, he was still living in Michigan. And then I had sold it to a Kramer crazy, this guy. It wasn't Mike Mojabi. Mike Mojabi bought it from me, and then that guy kind of fell off the face of the earth. I haven't heard about him in a long time, but he bought it, and then I didn't hear anything. And then we bought another one. It didn't play that good. It was probably me, but this one plays fantastic, and I'm very happy with it. So, Darren, thanks for being here, pal. You said you had some other questions too. You said you're saving questions for a live stream, so hit me up, man. Let's go. Cushman's hey, Cushman, what's up, man? How you doing? Jimmy Biter's in the chat. What's up, Jimmy Biter? Hey, dude, I watched your Soldano. You guys are all into those modules. I I need somebody to school me on that stuff so I can maybe get into that stuff because I found that very interesting. It sounded fantastic. So great job on that, Soldano. I watched that the other night. So uh, good job, man. Yeah, you guys are all freaking playing great over there. Robbie, hey Mick, do it the Edward way and chisel the pickup route. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, Mr. Mick, do it the Edward way and chisel the pickup route. Yeah, you could do that. They're still not gonna take care they're still not gonna fix the angle. The angle is what he's gotta deal with there, so chisels are always fun, though. Greasy Monkey Guitars is in the chat. Patty's here. Let's, catch up here. Blue Mox sounded killer again. I agree. That sounded, you guys sounded good tonight. Cushman is here. What up? Rodney Parker 40. Did you dig Ingve's 80s albums? And have you ever listened to the 78 Powerhouse demo? I don't I don't know the 78 Powerhouse demo. I will tell you that when Trilogy came out, I was shoot, what grade was I in? 10th grade? When Trilogy came out, I was an Ingve fan. I mean, like, how could you not be? And then later on, like later on that time, oh, he was in Alcatraz. Oh, Steve Vai replaced him in Alcatraz. Oh, and like everything's tied together. Everything's tied together. Oddly enough, we're going to see Lionel Richie in November at the Win because I like Lionel Richie. I think he's badass, and we're gonna go see him. And I was getting ready for work the other day, and I was listening, and "Running with the Night" came on, and that guitar solo was just blazing. And I'm sitting there going, "That's got to be Lukather. It's got to be Lukather." And sure enough, I Wikipedia'd it, and it's Lukather. There's so many things in the 80s that are so tied together with regards to like who played with who and where was that and who played on this album. It's just so awesome. So to answer your question, I digged Ingve in the '80s. I, you know, and then I backed into Rising Force and all that cool Ingve stuff. And even later in life, I like listening to his newer stuff. It's redundant and it's repetitive, but it's still Ingve. It's cool, you know. I bought that yellow guitar when I bought that yellow uh when I bought that yellow Strat that I got at my dad's house in St. Louis. That had YJMs in it, and I sold them to Phil. Phil in Michigan. He pops in every once in a while, but Phil bought those YJMs. I just didn't dig them. I mean, I just that wasn't my tone. So I didn't go after that. But did I dig Ingve? Yes, I dig Ingve. I still dig Ingve. Who doesn't like Ingve? He's cool, man. I mean, Ingve's cool, right? Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I think he's cool. Lou said, "What's the worst off the rack guitar you ever bought and then regretted?" Hmm. The worst off the rack guitar you bought and that you ever bought and then regretted it. Man, I don't know. There's been a bunch of them, but luckily for me, I know a guy that can like can you know, he can un-F it. You know, it because when you buy stuff, that's I've said this a million times in my on my shows. I feel so bad for the guys that don't have the ability to buy a guitar. My son's in the predicament right now. He just bought a bass the other day. He said, "Dad, this bass is all jacked up." I said, "Nathan, you can't expect them to set it up. Nobody sets guitars up anymore. Nobody. You buy a guitar that somebody put together and they shipped it out the door, unless you go buy a Sir, which I know that those are still being. Oh, and I've got Sir news too. Those guitars are stage ready out of the case. But you know, with regards to the price point and everything, Lou, I don't know. That's a good question though. I try not to buy new guitars like off the rack. I try to save the money, and I try to save the money and bring them home and fix them. Just like that SA 126. SA 126 got that for 1,200 bucks. It was all jacked up. The nut was cut too low, and there's just nothing right about it. Intonation wasn't set. I don't understand. I don't. I'm gonna go on a rant. I don't understand. I don't understand it. So, uh, buddy, you and I have experienced so many guitars between the two of us that that would be a tough question to answer. What tool are you using to intonation the Floyds? Absolutely nothing. Don't buy that stuff. Don't buy that stuff. All you got to do is unlock, take the slack out of the string, pull it back, unlock your locking screw, pull the saddle back a little bit, lock it back up, tune it back to pitch. There might be some back and forth, but those little Floyd tubes you'll put on there, you know, and like you can tighten them up and it brings the saddle back and forth real nice. Don't waste your money on that stuff. Never in a million. You never saw any of those at when I was working at John Sir. We didn't have any tools like that. I mean, we would take. I would go back to my builder in the mornings. I say, "What Floyds do you have?" And I pull the Floyds out and I would adjust them. I could look at a Floyd and say, okay, this is where intonation is going to set. Because when you're building hundreds of guitars, you know what the intonation looks like on those guitars. So I would dial in the intonation on all the saddles, and then by the time it got to me for final, it was already intonated. So do not mess with Darren. Do not buy any intonation tools. The only maybe I should do a I should have I've done a video on intonation. That's why I didn't do it this morning. I should have done it this morning. Because I thought I did a. It's like I started the whole video with I don't know what's been done and what hasn't. Because now I'm starting to forget what I've done and what I haven't done. So, anyways, don't buy any tools, buddy. Just unlock. Here we go. Unlock. Take the tension off the string. Unlock your locking screw, and then pull back or forward, whether sharp or flat, whichever way it's got to go. That is the way you do it, and no tools needed, buddy. How does Warren block his tremolo? Warren, last time I checked, Warren's guitar was floating. He did not have it blocked because I remember he had a little bit of pullback on his snakeskin. He had just a little bit of pullback on that snakeskin. It was not blocked when I saw his guitar. Now I haven't. I only got to touch his snakeskin at Fourth and B that night. So Lou was there. Yeah, we. That's when he helped us cross the street. Warren helped us cross the street. He said to look both ways. We laughed about that for years. Only 7 guitars with Floyd's. I don't use a tool, but would say this: the set of strings you put on, make sure you do a locking cinch on the tuners so they don't come loose from the tuners. That's a good point. I always run the balls through the tuner, so these are locking tuners. Oh boy. But I always run the ball through the tuner and run it down. So yeah, they don't come out. So you can do it either way. You can put a lock on it, a locking cinch on it, which I absolutely despise when I go to change guitars on a guitar that I bought from somebody and they did the locking cinch on it. I pull my hair out trying to get I can't get the string out. So I just run the balls through the tuner and then tune it to pitch that way. So there's a ton of different ways to do things, and Blue Mox is not wrong in any way. You can do a locking cinch, but I personally run the balls through. I run the balls through the tuner. Nathan says way too much buzzing on his bass. We'll get it fixed, man. I know a guy. We'll fix it. Overlord 5150. They don't even tune the damn showroom guitars, buddy. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna rant tonight. Robbie says no tool here. No. Yeah. Robbie Stingle's old school. You will not catch Robbie Stingle doing anything that they've started doing past 1985 or 1986. He's uh he's 100% set in his ways, and he's right. I mean, like all that stuff was phenomenal. I can't wait to have the show on the bridge. The bridge is going to be, this was actually pretty cool. Original box from 1983, 1984. Got the original box. So Kramer owned these for 10 years. And if Charvel, if anybody bought or if anybody wanted a Floyd Rose on their guitar, they had to buy the Floyd from Kramer. They couldn't buy them from anybody else but Kramer. So Kramer sold these, but this is one of the original boxes. Inside this box, I'm not going to do anything else. But inside that box is a Floyd Rose that Robbie and I are going to talk about on an upcoming uh, episode of Live at the 40 Spot. I recommend listening to The Hunted. I think it's on Trilogy. The Hunted on Trilogy. I like Queen is in Love on Trilogy. I like You Don't Remember, I'll Never Forget. Um, Queen is in Love, I think, was one of my just the tone of his guitar and the chords were just amazing. Amazing. Yeah, I sat a position with the bridge off the guitar, Floyd, since 1982. Of course, the only time you're gonna have a problem is when the bridge isn't in the right position, like on that bomber, and you're gonna have to run them all back to get it to intonate. But I'm not gonna. That's a whole other rant. I'm not gonna go into that either. So let's see here. Let's see here. You guys have any questions for me? Somebody asked me today how to get hold of me. That's my email address. I've had a lot of people. Oh, let's. Okay, yeah, I got a good one. I've had a lot of people email me about stuff saying, "Hey, could you help me?" And I've helped them. Or, "Hey, what do you think about this?" And I let them know what I think about it. So, um, this is a really good one. So, going to where am I at? Oh no, I think I lost where I was at. Okay. Let me go through these comments here, and then I'm going to go into a picture here real quick for you guys to see. Or just make sure you haven't clipped the strings yet. Yeah. Okay. Yep. The balls will do it also. Correct. Either way, I mean, like everybody's got their own way. Everybody's got their own way. Do any of your guitars have a 1 3/4 nut? Yes, I have two. I have the white Holy Grail reissue. I've got more than two. The black Beretta, the '83 Beretta. That's a sports neck. That's got the R5 nut on it. I think I got something else. I mean, they're very uncomfortable. I mean, They're fun to play on, but I mean, like, for a show, that probably wouldn't be a guitar that I would take because the string spacing so far from it is so, like, far between each other, you kinda you're not in your groove. I'm in my groove for an R3. If I'm going to a gig, I'm taking an R3, maybe an R2. I actually played that Paul Dean today, and I wasn't having problems with that, so probably got something to do with the radius. Radius on that was 15, by the way, so I checked that after. I didn't go through it. I missed a couple things today. I missed the radius. I missed the I missed a couple things, but man, that guitar, that's just a great guitar. It's a great guitar. I'm glad it's back, and I'm glad it's back. I think Ingve did an awesome job on the album Inspiration. You know what? That's the one I think that's one of the ones that I was digging for a while. That sounds familiar. Inspiration. Like I haven't listened to Ingve, so when I moved in 20, I really haven't been digging through my CDs a lot since like 2021. I usually listen to the same stuff all the time, which is crazy. But I saw Ingve on something the other day, and I listened to Ingve on the way to work, and I was just like, man, he's freaking awesome. I love the guy. At Kramer Factory, Robbie says at Kramer Factory, the strings were on spools, no balls, straight from Artie Ball. Yeah. Uh, at Sir, we had just had tubes. We had tubes, and they would just go drop the strings in because they were just big wraps of strings. And you just go back there and grab whatever ones you needed, and just head back to you. We were using Dunlop. Dunlop when I was there. When I got there, they were using Elixirs, and then they went away from Elixirs and they went to Dunlop, and then that was it. Let's see here. Blue Mox was talking to Robbie. Yeah, the flatter old ESP radius works with R2. Yeah. So we touched on intonation. Of course, I made a list, and my son said, "Dad, you still write notes?" And I go, "Yeah." And he said, "You can put that in your computer." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So, uh, thank you to all my subscribers. I enjoy having you guys hit me up on stuff, and let me put that back up again. I enjoy having you guys hit me up on stuff and talk about gear and all that. So much appreciated. The intonation we talked about. Oh no, somebody emailed me today and said, "Do you where do you set intonation? Do you set intonation in this playing position or on the bench position?" Intonation is always set in the playing position. You should never set intonation in a bench position because the problem is the guitar shifts and the weight shifts and your touch shifts. Everything shifts in a playing position. So I'd recommend that you guys, whenever setting intonation, you set intonation in the playing position, not in the bench position. Do not do that. We talked about the nut on the bomber. Nut on the bomber was an R2, and that's an R3 nut on that. That's a 12-inch radius, a compound radius 12 to 16. And so it's going to be a R3 that's going to accommodate the R3. So I already pulled an R3 out. That's the beauty of having a bunch of parts out there. I don't have to go to the parts store. Um, I usually have everything ready to go. Let's pull this nut up. I wanted you guys to see this. This is Umberto, who was in the chat last week. I don't think he's here tonight, but he had a PV Wolfgang and he was having some problems. The bridge was adjusted all the way down, and his action was still high. So I said, "Buddy, you got to shim the neck." So we went back and forth all week talking about how he was going to do it, and guess what? He did it, and he said that he's very happy about it, and that it really, talking about it really gave him the strength to pull his guitar apart. I said, "Man, pull it apart. It's not going to hurt anything." And he pulled it apart, and he says that he got it playing great, and that's the beauty. Because again, we go back to talking about uh, taking your guitar into somebody and having somebody work on your guitar. They're not going to do it the way you want it done. So you're better off just doing it yourself. Try to figure it out to do it yourself. And if you can't, then you can email guys like me and say, hey man, I can't. And there's plenty of guys out there you can email, but you can email guys like me and say, hey man, I got a problem, and can you help me with this? And I will definitely get you through it, because the last thing I want you to do is go and paying $80 for nothing, and then you go home and the guitar's not even set up the way you wanted it to be. So that is no bueno in my world. So let's see here. That's where we're at. Oh, Kurt's in the chat. Hey, Kurt, what's up, man? How you doing? Uh, Kurt watched. Kurt liked my the soldering iron, fattening that neck up. So he said, "Did you get the bump out?" That's what I want to know. He said that he had a ding on his Wolfgang special and that he was going to try it. I gotta know, did it come out? So if you watch my video on the D Martini, um, I uh, I just steamed out the dents on. You can steam them out. You can steam small dents out on unfinished necks. Don't do it with a gloss finish or anything like that. You're gonna mess your finish up. But if it's an unfinished neck, you can definitely sweat that bump out, and you'll get that fixed. So, Kurt, please let me know. Uh, please let me know if you got that bump out. Everybody saying hello to Kurt. Robbie Stingle's in the house. He is Robbie Stingle, always faithful. Fun show last night. Yeah, I tuned in. I got home late and I didn't I got home. I had a really bad day yesterday. So got home late and sat there for a minute. I just could I couldn't gravitate to anything. I just went to bed. Uh Umberto, there he is, present. Cool, man. So he sent me some pictures. So um you said that it was okay if I use the picture, so I appreciate that, sir, because it's going to be very knowledgeable for everybody that's in my chat right now. So we were talking about his Wolfgang. I said, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. He said, still having problems with another guitar. This guitar isn't staying in tune. What did I say last week about staying in tune on Floyd Roses? It's 90% of the time it's the nut. Okay. So he didn't build this guitar. He has nothing to do with it. Somebody built this guitar. And this is what the nut looked like. And he said, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. What are your thoughts? So let me see if I can get this to open, and then I'm going to share this, and then you guys tell me what your thoughts are, because I wanted to drive to Texas and fix it for them. This is how troubled I was by somebody thinking that this is the correct way to do a nut. So first of all, your shelf here is at about 110 degrees, maybe 105. The end of your fingerboard, so you have a gap there. So it could be shifting up and down here. You have a shim here, which is only supporting from here to here because you have a gap here. So 100%, the reason why this guitar is not staying in tune is because of the nut. 100%. So what you're going to have to do is to fix this. I showed you guys put sandpaper on this end of the nut. Just go back and forth a little bit at a time until you clean that up. Or if you're concerned about intonation, because that can mess with your intonation if you start sanding on this, depending on how it's sitting, what I would do is I would take, you guys have watched how I set the nuts. I would take my wood dowel and I would hit the top of that nut and see if it seats closer to the fretboard. That's it. That's what I would do. And then it may move right into position. Either way, this is a problem. But it takes me back to what I said about if you have a Floyd Rose and it's not staying in tune, 100% check the nut first. There's a problem with the nut. 100%. I would say more than 90% is the problem, or 90% of the time. But I found that this was interesting. And Umberto, I know that you didn't do this work and somebody did this work. And I apologize if somebody did this work for you and said, congratulations on your purchase, because this, in my opinion, is unacceptable. 100% unacceptable. I would be ashamed. This wouldn't even leave my bench. I said, I wish I could fix this. I wish I could come to Texas and fix this, because I would. I think that's troubling. So I'm gonna get off my rant on that, but I want to share that with you guys. Have you take a look at that and see what your thoughts are. But surely this is the problem That's a problem, and this is a problem. So when you're taking tension out these strings, that nut's just rocking. So it's moving forward and it's rocking back and forth. So let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that, but you'll get it fixed. I'm sure you'll get it fixed. Diamond Dave says every guitar should learn to set their own guitar. I agree with you 100%, Diamond Dave. 100%. If you're going to play guitar, you got to figure out how to work on your guitar and get it, because I just feel that there's too many guitar guys out there that don't know, they don't know what they're doing. Ronnie Parker, I was wrong, not on Trilogy, on the Powerhouse demo. Okay, so I'm gonna my drive to work tomorrow morning will be Yngwie Malmsteen, sir. So Kurt 51 says had not had time yet this weekend. So I'm dying to know, Kurt. Just message me and let me know if you got that fixed. Nut first. Apparently there's a nut problem at Kurt's house. So uh yeah, I mean, like, if you got to fix a nut, you got to fix a nut. Darren, your channel and videos are inspirational. I find myself pulling out the old projects. Hey, man, it's badass. That's badass, man. Because you know, regardless of how good you are, there's somebody that made you that. You know what is going on here? Oh man, my Floyd is loose. Uh oh, just something else to fix, Darren. I'll just take us out and fix this on Tuesday or whatever. Uh, somebody made you that. I didn't. I was actually, which is next on my list to talk about. Met with. I'm not going to say his name yet because I'm going to be putting the thumbnail up. But I have a friend of mine that I work with at SIR, and he was in charge of the amp department and the pickup department, and he was the boss. And him and I met on StreamYard today, and we had a very nice chat. It was so nice to see him because I haven't seen him in years. We had a great chat, and it was really nice to see him. And him and I used to always have so much fun. I would be working on a guitar, and it's funny because when you watch the videos, the John Sir videos now, the desk that John's at was my desk. That was my bench, and um, they. So I would be working at my bench, which is John's bench now. He used to work inside his shop. Now he's on the floor, which is cool because I wish he would have been on the floor when I was there, because it would have been, I'd be, I'd be way better than I am. But I would be working and Chris would be burning in amplifiers on the other side of the wall. And we would just sit there and talk all day long. I never knew that he was such a big Van Halen fan until after I left, sir. But you know, that's that we just didn't really talk about it much. But I'll tell you, he let me ear f him all the time. I was constantly asking him stuff about the amplifiers, about the pickups, about everything. He was like, "Hey, man, I just played one of those SSH pluses. I remember the day when I fell in love with the SSH plus. I go, oh my God, that pickup is amazing." He's like, yeah, man, all of John's pickups are freaking amazing. And I'm like, oh my God. So, anyways, he's coming on, and he's a Nashville music producer now, and he does music for all your the TV shows that you watch, the football games, all that stuff. When they're showing the previews and there's music playing, he's the guy who's writing that stuff. So it's going to be very awesome to have him on. He's got a very nice studio in Nashville. He broadcasted today from it, and we sat there and talked for at least an hour, just talking about old times and laughing, and it was great. And I'm so excited to have him on. I'm so excited to have him on for you guys, because all the Sir guys need to make sure that you're here for that, because they'll answer anything you want to hear. We're talking about the SL68, the Mark II today, and where that came from. I'm not going to share it, but now I know where it came from. So that's really cool. Hopefully he shares that. Hopefully he has the ability to share that, because I found out today where the Mark II came from, why they did it. And so those are just some teasers for when I have my buddy on, Chris from Sir Guitars. So I've got another Sir partner that will be coming on with me as well. He's just not really set up to stream. So I'm working on that right now. But don't remember, back to Darren, don't forget where you came from. One thing I was taught when I made chief in the Navy: don't forget where you came from. When you make chief in the Navy, you go through about 45 days of I don't know if they do it anymore, but you were initiated and you were taken back to boot camp again and treated as a recruit, and you were broken down and you were built back up amongst your peers. And one thing that they always taught us when you made chief in the Navy was don't forget where you came from, because what that does is that gives you the ability to always take care of your troops. You should always take care of the troops. You should never leave before the troops. You should be the last to leave. Um, just a lot of lessons there for me in the military, and a lot of lessons at John Sir. Don't forget where you came from. That's one thing that's very important when you say they're inspirational. Somebody taught me, man. Somebody taught me stuff. I didn't learn the stuff on my own. Some of it maybe, but some of it, you know, who knows? So, for his words of wisdom, start from the headstock. That's right, buddy. Hey, man, somebody taught me that. Mike Ponce, start the headstock, man. Start the headstock, work your way down, because by the time you get down to the bridge, everything else is done. You've already gone down it. You've already gone down the whole guitar. You know that everything behind you's done. You looked at everything. You did everything correctly. So I'm sure I didn't come up with that myself. There's the metal cop. Here, bro, better late than never. The football game ended and a blowout. Hey, we talked about you, buddy. Thank you so much for your awesome comment this week. And because of you, I checked in with the better half and had her go check that nut, because sure enough, it was an R2. So that's why that stupid shim was in there and everything. So I got an R3 sitting on the bench right now, waiting to go into that. And yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for you, bro, I mean, I would have caught it when I went to go put it back together. There's no way I'm putting an R2 on that neck, but I would have caught it, but I wouldn't have caught it as quick as I did, because I wasn't even paying attention to it. I was more focused on that stupid shim that was in there. I couldn't believe that. I was like, well, why is that in there? But now I know why, because it's a R2 nut. Guitar is not playable at the moment. Hey, man, you're gonna get that fixed, bro. Don't sweat that. And you could probably watch my videos and probably do it yourself. Just use some 120. Put some 120 on the nut like I showed you. Put some 120 on the bottom, just level everything up. That's why you square everything back off. You square that off, and you'll be just fine. I certainly wouldn't let whoever worked on that guitar or built it work on my guitar again. That's for sure. Tisonics. I think it is titanium. You were saying, yeah. So that's a titanium nut. I can do my Floyds, but my skills are limited when certain problems arise. Hey, man. Hey, and that's why you got guys like me and guys like other people that can say, "Hey, man, do this," instead of charging you $80 and have not even do it right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to charge anything. I don't even want super chats. Uh, let's see, absolutely 100% with me. It was Edward. I'm Robbie's probably talking to somebody out there. Building a replica of Brian Adams' Key Scott's Black Demon Sandy. Hey, cool, man. Right on. I'm building a uh, Rowan Robertson. Rowan Robertson from Dio. I'm building his Black Charvel right now from the Dio days. So I've been told that Tim from Atomic Guitars building that guitar for me. I bought the neck. It was a I forgot which neck I bought. Now I forgot. I think it was a Music Craft. He's building the body for me and painting it. He's painting nitro. We're going to paint it black nitro. That should be a really cool guitar. And I even got the yellow Rowan Robertson Dio picks to tape all over them. So there's a guy on eBay selling them, and I bought all of them from him. So I'm going to put the yellow black body, single humbucker, one volume. He had a 3-way switch on it. I think it was a split the coil, but there was an EMG in it, which I thought was weird. But I'm gonna put I'm putting an EMG in it, because I really don't have a guitar with an EMG. So I'm putting an EMG in that because that's what his had, but I didn't put a 3-way switch on it. So I agree with your videos and awesome, inspirational, but so that wall behind you freaking awe-inspiring. Buddy, I don't come in here and play. I come here and look. I come here and look. I mean, like, I sit there and look at the kamikaze guitar. I sit there and I remember the first time I saw In My Dreams. I sit there, I see Lynch all crouched down with his leg all out of place, looking all weird, but that's what made him cool. I mean, like, It's awe-inspiring. It's awe-inspiring because the legends that stood behind that guitar, not because it's hanging on my wall. I mean, the only reason I have all these guitars hanging is because it is inspiring to me. I come in here and go, man, I am so lucky to have grown up when I grew up because of the passion I have for this guitar stuff. I mean, it's just never going to stop. It's never going to stop, sweetheart. I'm sorry. It's just never going to stop. It's not going to stop. Okay, let's move on. Thank you for that, by the way, and you guys, thank you so much for your kind words. But again, somebody helped me, so that's why I feel like I need to like help other people and say, hey man, do this, or hey, do that, or do this or do that, because somebody had to help me. I didn't figure this stuff out. I figured out a lot of trial and error and ruined stuff. I may have missed this. Where does the name 40 grit come from? So when I was young, it was my nickname in the military. Uh, I was very abrasive and very mean and very matter of fact. And I'm still black and white, um, but I'm not as mean as I used to be. And I like getting older because I'm not as angry anymore and I'm not as mean anymore. And uh, but I will tell you that I tell some people that you don't want to see me angry because it's just not a good thing. But 40 grit came from abrasive. I had this guy that we used to go to these meetings, and they were pre-exercise, post-exercise meetings for our performance on. I was a signalman in the Navy, so it was the Morse code guys with the shutters and the flags and the Morse code, talking with your hands and all that stuff. So I that was my job in the Navy, and it was very competitive, very competitive. Like you would get on the we used to say we used to call it a smoke show. So we get on and we start shuttering, and if they couldn't keep up, we do that person sucked because you're sending Morse code on the light, on the flashing lights, and it was very competitive. So when I would go to those exercises, I would just flame spray people. You suck. You suck. You suck. And I didn't have any problem telling people that, which was very probably not good, and probably a lot of people didn't like me because they just weren't as I guess the first thing I want to say is they weren't as good as I was, but that's probably not the right thing to say. Um, but I was very competitive in my late 20s, so that's where 40 grit came from. I would come around the corner, they'd be like, "Hey, good old 40 grits here, good old 40 grit," and that's where that came from. 40 grit came from military, being competitive, being abrasive, being I don't care what you think about me. I'm gonna be a badass, and that's what the goal was. So he was abrasive in the service. Yeah, yeah, but we were really good, man. I mean, like the ships I was on, it was freaking great. Keith Scott, so criminally underrated. Yeah, I agree with you. Greasy Monkey Guitars, thanks for being here, man. Appreciate that. You're all over the place, man. Uh, that's cool that you enjoy watching these shows. You were talking about who taught you stuff 40. Oh, okay. Yeah. Very lucky to have well, I mean, really the person who taught me the most is probably Bill Zola and Zola Guitar San Diego. Rest in peace, sir. I think he may have passed away from COVID. He smoked and he drank, but most extremely artistic people do have vices like that, and I really miss him, and I wish he was still here because man, that guy taught me how to build from template. That guy taught me how to pick tone wood. That guy taught me how to fret. That guy taught me how to do paint. He taught me how to do everything. So rest in peace, Bill Zola, and yeah, he's the guy who taught me the most. I want a guitar wall, but I don't have the space yet. You will. You will. I'm an old man and I've worked up to this. It's not like this all came one day. I've plateaued. But the bad thing about plateauing is there's no way to go but down. Um, so I've definitely plateaued with regards to where my guitar collection is at, in my opinion. And but you will, Brooks, you will have a guitar wall, and you will have it. It's just you just have to wait for it to come. It'll come. You just have to see it. No, uh, no dream is Everything's a dream unless it's written down. So what you have to do is you have to write down everything that you're looking to accomplish so you can see it. Because you can sit there and have thoughts, but if you don't write down what you want, then it's always going to be a dream. So you have to write it down. I want. When I first moved out here in 2015, I went to a class and they actually told us that. And the first thing I wrote was is I wanted to build a house, and I did. And if you have a passion like that, you have something you want to do, write it down, because it'll always be a dream unless you don't, or unless you do write it down. Metal Cop, I bought a Pacer American, largely in part of George Lynch. Heck yeah, man. George switched to ESP 5 minutes later. Then the In My Dreams video and the '86 guitar for the pressing musician came out. Introduction to Kamikaze. And I don't know if there was anything cooler than when I saw that In My Dreams video. I mean, I just remember going and going, "Oh my god!" Like, I don't even understand like how cool that guy is. Just so cool. I say, my buddy sent me something today about he's talking about his Ozzy stuff again. So that was an interesting read. Mikey's laughing about something. Hopefully, it wasn't my 40 grit story. I shouldn't even have told that story. Uh, have you ever considered a Robin Crosby Firebird reverse headstock for the wall? I um You got to remember that Robin Crosby's guitars were really big. That's where the King V came from, because of King, because of Robin Crosby. His nickname was King. You know, the King V came from Robin Crosby. All of Robin Crosby's guitars were real big because he was trying to offset his height to make the guitar look in proportion to him. So, would I ever consider a Robin Crosby guitar? I don't know. I have high respect for Robin Crosby because of his songwriting ability, and I feel like he was the unsung hero of Rat, because the majority of that really cool rap music, that was Robin Crosby. So, I mean, or Warren went in there and smoked the solos. And don't get me wrong, Warren wrote some cool stuff, but Robin Crosby was the catalyst for a lot of that cool uh, stuff. I'm not sure if I may have said this, but I went to his funeral and they paddled out. It was in La Jolla. Juan was there and Warren was there, and I didn't catch them talking. I think they were still at odds. But after that, they had an all-star jam. They in La Jolla at the Hard Rock Cafe right up the road. They paddled out on surfboards, dumped his ashes, and paddled back in. And they went up to the Hard Rock Cafe and they performed. They had like an all-star band. And I remember I took my video camera to record it, and Warren DeMartini asked me not to record it. He said, "Can you not record this?" And I said, "Sure." I turned my recorder off. But yeah, I was there for the All-Star Jam at the La Jolla Hard Rock Cafe when they were celebrating Robin Crosby after his passing. So would I consider a Robin Crosby? I don't think so. Those weird body styles, not really into them. I've got that Star guitar, and that Star guitar lives in the case. That'll probably be a guitar I'll probably let loose of here sooner than later. With me, it was Edward. Yeah, I mean, Robbie spent that time at Kramer's, so imagine having Edward Van Halen over your shoulder saying, "Hey, do this." I can't even imagine. Can't even imagine. Brooke says, "I'm old too, just to the wrong house." Well, then you got to go buy another house, bro. You got to go and get a bigger. You got to figure out a way to get that guitar wall, because there's nothing been more rewarding for me when I have my guitar walls. Because everything you're working for, everything you're paying for, you can come in here and look at it and go, "God, man, this is just so cool to look at." But now I put these other posters up. I'm not sure if I look at more. I think I look at the posters more. I look at the guitars, just because I'm like, man, look who I grew up with. Like, looking at those guys going, God, man, you know, I don't know. Hmm. It's a shame what happened to Robin. I agree with you 100%, a million percent. So much talent there, and such a nice guy. I mean, like, everybody I talked to, they said he was just such a nice guy and so cool, way down to earth. And I see his guitars floating around every once in a while. He sold a lot of those off. Because he needed money, so he had sold a lot of those guitars off. He had pawned a bunch of his guitars, so I know that they're out in the wild. I see him every once in a while. Ram Lightning says, Grid, I ordered an 83 Holy Grail from Swatter. Should get it by the end of the month. Was wondering if you advise keeping the 59 or swapping for a stronger pickup, Frankenstein or maybe a JB. I would recommend that you stick with the 59 and plug it in and play it, because my intention, as soon as I got mine right there, I said I'm swapping the pickup. It was already done. I was probably gonna put an RTM in it or something, or maybe a DiMarzio Super 3 or something cool like that. Some very high output pickup. I was just gonna throw something in, and that's where I was going with. I plugged that Holy Grail in, and that 59 sings in that guitar. I'll never swap that guitar. So at least give it the benefit of the doubt. Different strokes for different folks. At least give it the benefit of the doubt. Um, Plug it in, try it out, see what's doing there, see if what it's doing for your ear. Everybody's ears are different, but for me personally, I was shocked at how good that guitar sounded, or that how good that pickup sounded in that guitar. So. I mean, not that Frankenstein. I just bought one of those, sweetheart. I bought a couple pickups. I have a Frankenstein Plus coming in the mail because I want to check it out, and I bought another RTM because of the hack job that somebody did on this one that I pulled out of the bomber. So signed by Warren and signed by Seymour on the back. I should probably keep that metal wire away from those signatures because it's going to eat them off. So I'm not going to do that. So yeah, Duncan, Seymour Duncan, signed by Warren D. Martini. So I think I'm going to do a giveaway on this. I just got to think of a cool question. I'm not going to do a giveaway spinning board and stuff like that. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to say, I'm going to ask a question in the chat, and whoever answers the question wins the pickup. I just got to think of a cool question. Now, I'm not going to do it tonight. I have a couple of RTMs. Jury's still out for me. I still prefer the JB. Hey, nothing wrong with that. So, in all actuality, I mean, this is just hearsay, but I've heard that Warren's still using JBs. He's not even using the RTMs. So, that's what I was told by a very good source. So he is not. I've been told he's not using the RTMs. He's using the JBs. But it's revenue for him, and you know, good for him. I'd be more than happy to give Warren DeMartini a bunch of money, just because of what he's done for me as far as like just being cool and everything that he's provided me. I have no problem giving these guys my money. No problem at all. Wasn't allowed to touch the guitar at the age of 6. Drove me crazy. Now I got a room full of them. Yeah, right? See, my first guitar was a Harmony out of the Sears catalog, and then I graduated to a Kramer Aerostar, and then I got a Kramer Farrington, and then I joined the military, and then my next guitar was a Westone that I bought when I started getting back into playing again. And then the guitar after that was a black Eddie Van Halen Music Man. So that I bought at El Cajon, San Diego, on El Cajon Boulevard Guitar Center at on El Cajon Boulevard. So okay, so back to my notes here real quick. The Randy Rhoads status. We are working on dialing in tone. I am working on that. We are working on that, and we'll get my son-in-law over here, and he can help us work on it because it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be. I'll be doing the fret job. I think I said on Wednesday, the fret job on the bomber. So I should be able to start filming part 2 Wednesday. I'm hoping start putting it back together. I got my tuners. I got everything I need out there. So I will start filming part 2 on Wednesday, I think. So we talked about the intonation. We talked about the nut on the bomber, which is a nightmare. The pickup on the bomber we talked about. Fret job, Randy Rhoads, Chris Just. Okay. Chris from Sir will be here on the 21st. That show is going to be on the 21st. 21st at 7 p.m. 21st from 21st to 7 p.m. I will have my buddy from Sir on. It's going to be a must see for you guys. All you guys that are Sir guys, you're going to want to see it. You're going to want to jump on here. You're going to want to ask him questions about the SL68. He's going to be the guy that's going to be on here, and he's going to be able to answer all your questions. The Sir pickups, everything. Chris worked hand in hand with I don't know how many of the artists that came inside that building, but I know that I got to talk to the majority of them that came in. So, but he's going to be a great guest, and you guys are going to enjoy that. Let's see here. Darren's first guitar, he says, was a Kramer Striker. That's actually a good one, plywood guitar, but it was better than a Kramer Aerostar, which I believe was still a plywood guitar as well. I think I'm pretty sure. Metal Cop says, his first was a Harmony. Yeah, Montgomery Ward catalog. They were junk. But the cool thing about the guitar was, is as soon as I got it, I'd stand in front of my long mirror behind my door and stand there with it and try to look cool and say, okay, I'm the next rock star. We have to figure this out. Les Paul body. You still have it. See, that's the one thing that I wish I had. Here we go with the regrets again. I wish I had some of the guitars that I wish I had some of the guitars I had let go, especially the first ones, you know. I wish I had that Black Music Man back. I should never have gotten rid of that. I shouldn't have got rid of any of my Music Mans. Problem with those Music Mans is they're just small and they don't look right. You know, I'm 6'1". I mean, they just didn't look right. You know, and I felt cramped on the neck. Those necks are kind of small, so I wish I still had some of those guitars. J.C. Penney. Zach Thong, what's up, man? Hey, thanks for coming in tonight, buddy. Appreciate you being here. You must have been over at Ryan's show. Yeah, Aerostar was plywood. Robbie says, yeah, it was a black guitar, had a white pick guard, looked like a Strat, but at least it said Kramer on the headstock. That's what I was all about. I just wanted my guitar to say Kramer. So, Zach Thong saying hello to Robbie. Well, it's starting to slow down a little bit. So 34 in the chat. I appreciate all you guys being here. If you have any questions on anything, hit me up. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes, and then I got to work tomorrow. Back to work, and I'll be back on Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be the Randy Rhoads shot, like I said. I'll post that on Tuesday, and then Wednesday it's going to be Fret Job on the Bomber, which is in the case, or I'd pull it out and show you. I cleaned that up a little bit. I got some of the scratches out. I was going to take that down to Tim and down at Atomic and see if I could buff that out, but I think I'm just going to leave it because if I make it look too perfect, it doesn't. It's not going to make sense for a 17-year-old guitar for it to look perfect like that. So I don't know if I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to go down and buff that guitar out. I don't think I'm going to do that. So I think I'm just going to leave it as it sits. Umberto says, I appreciate your help with my Wolfgang. Have a great night. Hey, buddy, that was my pleasure. Thank you for sending me the pictures and thank you for showing me before and afters. And I appreciate that. And, you know, anything I can do to help you guys, let me know. Shoot me an email and, uh, you know, I'd be more than happy to help you with your guitar stuff. Uh, no more questions. Let's see here. Make sure that you email me directly. dtuner5150 at gmail.com is my contact. And we can talk about any questions you may have. But there's, you know, like I said, there's a lot of people out there that can help you out with your guitar stuff. You know, I'm just one dude. Let's see here. Darren says he's originally from El Cajon. Dad went to La Jolla High School. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, I know where La Jolla High School is. So that's cool. Yeah, I've been out to El Cajon many times. Like I said, I did 23 years in the Navy out there. So San Diego, I still don't know how I did 23 years in San Diego. I never had to go overseas. I never got shifted. We had the opportunity to go to Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and my ex-wife didn't want to go. She said that she didn't want to go to Hawaii, so I passed on that tour and ended up going to the Seabees for 3 years. So I got to be a Marine for 3 years at the Seabees over at Coronado with the SEAL team. So that was a good tour too. So all right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I got to work tomorrow. So super appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for all your comments. I enjoy coming on here and talking to you. I enjoy seeing 34 people in the chat. I mean, that's crazy for me. I'm just one guy. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate you attending. I appreciate all your comments. Darren, nice to see you, buddy. I hope you win this pickup because I'm going to do a giveaway on it, and I'd like for you to win it, and then you can throw it in one of your rack guitars. Um, Maybe we'll just make it a rack question. Make it easy for Darren. Zach Thong, Thunder Falcon. Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off. I thank you so much for being here, and like I said, probably see you on Tuesday. Maybe see you on Tuesday, but I'll probably go live on Wednesday, and we will touch base then. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys on the next one.